Hello, welcome back to Translating English with Scaly Wings, where I forgot to open something up. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's get to work, shall we? I need to turn on elegant. Ugh. Oh no, it's all kinds of things I keep. What am I looking for? This one. MX. What's playing now? I think it was Mystery Sounds that was playing at this point. Like, why the fuck this spooky? Why did I never notice this some music either? Like, this has some pretty spooky music and I never noticed it on my playthrough. Was this playing? And again, it's the kind of ambience you wouldn't notice if you're talking a lot. Like, holy shit, this changes everything. Like, every single time I come back to this, I listen to the music and I'm like, what? This was playing? How? It just breaks me. It breaks me to learn that all these amazing tracks were in there, setting such a powerful ambience, and I missed them completely. Like, this changes the scene entirely. Like, otherwise the scene is like this, just this clash between people, and with this it's like Maverick being extremely dead serious with you. Because, you know, there's no voice acting, so everything is diverted from context cues, and it's such a bright, sunny day, and you just went out investigating, and then something like this happens. So this is a little different. It says, "What can you tell me why it would need sense in the first place?" Considering that he went through, you could just say that humanity was doubtful, or that we're not in the situation to take risks, or just that, you know, maybe on the other side something went wrong and he would need to defend himself. Like, why would Maverick after, like, either you know they're dragons, in which case you want to bring a gun just in case one of them decides to pounce you, or they're not dragons, in which case a gun would be useful because you don't know what they are. Like, Maverick, your point is stupid if you think it through a little bit. That's very fucking Englishism. Tammy Flakes. It's a delicious breakfast. Tammy Flakes. You'll regret it. Man, that's a good song. Yeah, but this is a little different. It's just like, why would an ambassador need such a tool, such a dangerous tool? Not in the first place it's gone, but it puts an emphasis on necessity instead. Like, this is not just a fair answer, it's the logical answer. Also, this explains why the evil ending happens after the neutral ending, because this, like, sets it up. I think this is the only time this ever happens, too, so it's kind of weird. Fuck no. Maverick! They searched me. I didn't have it with me. Reza didn't have any supplementary ones with him. Where and how would there be another gun? You've seen an ammo box, probably. Because that's a thing Reza has to lug around in his hammer space. So why would you... God damn it, Maverick. Like, again... Not only is he a vigilante, he's only doing good work because of good luck. Nothing Maverick does is proper investigation. Here he starts making rampant assumptions that don't go anywhere. Why would he have one? I don't know. Maybe we don't want our ambassadors to die in a terrorist attack that has problems with humans showing up. But where could you hide it? Reza didn't have any. I didn't have any. I didn't have any supplementary baggage. Where the fuck would it be? In my asshole? God damn. Our biologies are similar enough that it's unlikely that humans have a pouch or something they could hide a gun in without it being visible. Do they have X-ray scanners? Probably. Why did they search me anyway? Like, when did that happen? Like, this is just so fucking stupid. Dude, he put you aside because you violated code of conduct and the law! Like, for fuck's sake, Maverick! You're an asshole who says, "Why is everyone so mean to me?" after you spat in their food. You're like, "Why are you so mean to me? What did I do? I'm a nice guy." And then you stomp on their table and you're still like, "I'm nice. I broke your chair. I stopped you from hanging yourself by breaking it, but that... Nah." Like, what the hell is he going on about? I trust him, but after what happened, he's just... What? But now there's only you, the mystical, the special, the new... How much? What? Like, where the fuck is Maverick going with this? What is his tangent? I said it last time, and I'll say it again. You earned that bullet, Maverick. You're clearly going insane at this point. Like, I understand that Maverick is like, my world is shaken upside down. I'm going to lose my job. My career is in peril. Everything I lived for this point has gone upside down. And I'm probably wrong about everything. I understand that. That is an amazing character arc. But the way everything is framed gives this impression that Maverick is somehow justified in his actions. Which is the point that gets me. You can't justify a vigilante who's fucking crazy. You want to know what this is? This is Asbar. This is All-Star Batman and Robin, where Batman is being praised as a hero despite him being a fucking idiot. That having been said, people for the most part really push Maverick aside, which does mean that for the largest part, Maverick comes across as a psychopath about to kill you for nothing other than suspicions he has, because you've done nothing. That being said, it is possible that Maverick remembers other timelines in which the other lady was involved, who was an asshole, and he thinks that because she was an asshole, you're an asshole, which would justify it, but nothing establishes that Maverick has those kinds of memories. Duh. Not to mention, you never actually hurt Maverick in any way. You never shoot him, you never punch him. No reason across the timelines. This is not something Dutch to say. That's better. I just want to watch that Timmy Flake video. Maybe I will the next time I decide to cut a break. Like, the funny thing is, he did save the world, but again, he didn't know, and it doesn't justify your actions. If you kill a child, strangling them with a smile on your face, and that child is Hitler, that does not mean that you choking and killing a child is somehow a legal action. Especially because, now that no one knows who Hitler is, no one knows why that child is a bad child. If you save the world with this kind of preemptive knowledge, you can never justify your actions because it never happens to justify it with. By the way he puts emphasis on proof. His whole point is, my gut instinct is correct, but I don't have any proof. Put quotation marks around proof to emphasize that Maverick is a person who relies on instinct over physical evidence. This is a critical point of his character. Maverick is a gut instinct man. He goes on feelings, on suspicions, not on necessary proof. Put proof between quotation marks to emphasize that he does not care about proof because he knows deep down inside he's right. So I'm going to do that because that is kind of the point his character's trying to make here. Like he's being snide. He says Bryce should trust me. I have a relationship with Bryce in which he should put trust in me for the actions and decisions I make. But the proof is the thing that gets in the way. Like, the only way Maverick's character could be redeemed is if he is completely aware of the time-traveling cycle and obeys it simply because he knows it's the right thing to do. And he takes a gambit every time. And he only knows when it goes wrong right when he's there with... Like, his character is so interesting because of it. Like, he's an exploration of a person who's right, but he's doing it the wrong way, and he's right for the wrong reasons, and there's nothing about his character that redeems him, and somehow he's right, and he did the right thing, and it doesn't make sense, and it doesn't technically work. If the time travel wasn't there, everything Maverick did was completely out of line and bad. Like, that's another thing to consider. Imagine time travel isn't real, and all of these are unique time loops, meaning that there's no way to know what would happen. That would mean that Maverick is still a douchebag. I also have to edit this line, because it doesn't work. The point is that Maverick is saying, hypothetically, I could have saved that day. And it doesn't translate well directly, so I'm going to have to edit that a bit. I'm going to watch that Timmy Flake video and calm down a bit. Because all this loud screaming is going to make people outside go, what? Well. Oops, I turned this off. I guess it does work, like, it does lead on with, like, this as the counterpoint to it, you know, like it's a hypothetical. The problem is, there's really no way to translate a damn hero. We don't really do that in Dutch. Unless you're trying to be self-degradatory, which is not his point. And then he just fucks off, like a weird, creepy, paranoid, psychopathic bastard. Whoosh! Like, he really feels like someone who's in on the loop, but also not. Like, he can sense it. He's like a force sensitive. He can pick up on the force, but he doesn't know what it is, and no one will explain it to him. He wants to know what this stuff is, but no one tells him. Like he has all these repetitions running through his brain, telling him what's going to happen and what he needs to do, but he can't make sense of them. What are these weird visions he keeps having? Because it's established that the timeline reset affects things before you arrive. Like, you can die and never show up, and that still comes out of the same timeline loop. Which means it's entirely possible that Maverick has just had this his entire life. He's just always had loop memories burrowing into his brain, telling him what's going to happen and how to solve it, and he's always acted close enough that he's made it. Fuck! That's what the prequel should just be! Yeah, all this talking on the fucking channels are gonna work. Is it Holston? Oh, it's with an S, I figured. There we go. Just adding a layer of uncertainty, because that's just not what you say. You don't say how you feel about certain thoughts. The funny thing is, like, the talk that we got on the chat is Maverick isn't exposed to you. He's in a loop, and he has those memories, but he isn't exposed to you or Izumi or the altering elements enough that he changes. I mean, Sebastian goes against his personality by basically breaking rules and going against an order, but Maverick doesn't have any of that. Hence why you giving the blood results changes so much into a certain timeline, because it affects him directly. How are his actions more thought through? Like, sure, he showed up for the murder investigation at the power station, but it's not like that was thought through. He could have showed up when Bryce wasn't there instead of when Bryce was there. Like, if it was calculated, he would just wait until Bryce was gone, or stay out of view. I don't know. Maybe ask around the bureau when the report was finished, or something like that, instead of showing up and confronting Bryce. Like, it kind of makes sense when you think of him as a person who knows everything, who is gone through the timeline and knows that his actions will play out positively in some fashion, that he will get his retribution, that Reza will turn out to be a bad guy, and maybe that's why every single timeline he does the same thing, because he knows he's right in the end. That's spooky, because he's his own Groundhog Day. He's causing himself to end up here. Oh, man. Okay, Baron. Oh, that's a minute. Why is this even open? Full house? When the hell was that? I don't even know. Oh, this song gets me. It's such a quietly sad song. I think it plays when Bryce gets blown the fuck up. And it just generally plays when you're in a sad situation. Baron. My name is Baron from Barenstein. God damn it, why don't I just learn? Why don't I learn? Oh my god, what is it doing? Stop doing that! No! When does Baron play? Yeah, I do think... Oh, it plays in Chapter 3. Yeah. Yeah, this plays when you explain human. Okay. That explains why I'm associating that. Aw, frick, I forgot to translate those options. I've also not seen Mr. Sanders on the chat too much. I guess he's just out and about having his fun with the summer. I like how Sebastian's so excited. I like how Sebastian just sits in Bryce's office like this. Bryce is probably going to be annoyed at that. Like, I love this fucking scene. It's just like, he invites you over to meet him at the front desk, and he just shows you into his boss's office and sits on his fucking chair. Goddamn, Seb. Have some respect for the old man. The crotchety... I also have to say, these descriptions are sorely missing. There really aren't enough descriptions on what people are doing. Is Maverick looming over me intimidatingly? Is he keeping his distance to make it seem normal to people around us? Where is Sebastian sitting? What is he doing? Like, a lot of establishing text is missing. I understand you've got graphics, but use the graphics in combination with text to establish location, interaction, and more. Like... Have Maverick's, like, if you can, have his image start shrunken out a bit, like shrink the picture a bit, and then have him move in over the course of the scene, like, a couple of times, to give this impression that he's slowly approaching you and trying to intimidate you. Like, like, it's really unclear what's happening in some scenes as a result. I like how Bryce is still looking for Reza. Considering it's literally been an entire day, you're looking for one human, you have a police force that's clearly not equipped to handle this kind of large-scale investigation, you already have one flyer who's on leave, you're not gonna find him if you don't find him in like an hour. In an hour's time, the radius in which someone can be is huge. Like, there's no chance you're gonna find him. Man, the more I look into the translation, the more I realize that while this has some really strong emotional points, it also has some weird dialogue and lacking options. Hey! Oh, wow. Yeah, these are different options now. In case you forgot... In the original first chapter, it's actually call for order lunch. Also, Zhong's name doesn't really work that well in Dutch. Zhong. Actually, it's just that. I think I'm going to call these meetings instead of dates. Meet. How do you call this? Like, hang out with him. No, let's do this. Make an appointment with the Chong. It works well. Wait, the fact that this says spend the day reading implies that all of these things take place over 1 day chunks. Which means there is a timeline. It's also kind of weird, you can't really lose evil points either. Yeah, this is a very somber and sober music, and I like it. Oh my god, I just remembered a Doomwa that I played around that time. Oh. I have very visual association memory in that regard. There we go, that's all the options. That's a good one. Once he puts his aims on something, he won't stop until he hits it. I really do like Dutch Sebastian's a bit more, because he has to call Bryce boss or commissioner, and commissioner's a mouthful, so I keep using boss. And it's got this really cute flavor to it that he keeps calling him boss. Like, that's why he's a boss! He's my boss! I just love that, it's so dumb. It's so cute! Oh, he's so cute! I'm gonna pinch his little cheeks. Do dragons have cheeks? Maybe they don't. Who knows? So a funny thing about this is it's implied in the RP channel that all the cops have pagers. I don't think it's ever explained how these cops communicate, if they have pagers or walkie-talkies or anything. Especially since I don't think many of them could use finer electronics like that. Like, this is what I mean. Like, Sebastian clearly understands the more pragmatic angle. I'm ending this, Reza, I mean, because it's not very good to suddenly switch subjects when we're already talking about someone in... Like, it might work a bit better in English, but it doesn't work in Dutch. We just refer to him as Bryce consistently, and then we switch to Reza. You have to specify that, because now it just sounds like he's saying, we won't find Bryce. We're not gonna find Bryce. He's the chief and he shows up at work every day, but we won't find him today. It just sounds so stupid. Like, this is so weird. Like, here you repeat it, and here you don't. Like, here you repeat what you say, here you repeat what you say as the question. Here you don't. What? Consistency. Like, to some extent, you can sense that this is someone who's made a lot of writing. Like, he has experience, but it's not enough experience to really put in the polish that this needs to work just fine. Like, again, you don't notice on your first couple of playthroughs. On your first playthrough, you're probably not going to notice this too much, but when you're translating it after having beaten it 100%, it starts sticking out like a sore thumb. Oh, and I wrote it in English because it's very similar. I don't think he's No, what's fucking on again? I don't think it... That's a midnight train going anywhere. It doesn't really work that well. Like, this is such a great point. Like, in a timeline at least, he'd never killed anyone, and it's all Izumi, and he just hides out in the forest and claims that that's all he did. Which makes the bloody bandage very odd. Like, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, what is Reza gonna do? You can siege him out. He can't use the portal, especially when Maverick breaks it up like an asshole. What is he going to do on the long term? He knows the world's gonna end. Like, what is his long-term plan? The funny thing is, Reza actually, I guess he uses this generator to blow up Bryce. Like, it's a thing he drops behind together with the eggs. Like, Reza's long-term planning is terrible. Like, they could just wire up the portal, and I guess they can't. They don't know how the portal works, but they could just not have the portal work and say, put it down, and we'll make sure everything goes alright, or something like that. Like, just anything. I mean, Reza doesn't have access to the thing that powers it, so how's he gonna, you know... Unless it's already hooked up and he only... Wait, if the portal requires a power source, what is the power source? And where is it and how does it... all these logistics that need to be explained for the story... Like, okay, you can hand-wave this stuff. Fine, but you have to establish the hand-waving. You have to have a scene where you hand-wave it. You can't have it hand-waved with no explanation. You can just say, oh, well, that's how it is. Fine, then I have to accept that as the reader and move on. But if you don't do it, these nagging thoughts start to form. It is true, though. Reza really doesn't know what he's doing. Even in the timelines where he kills nobody, he's very astute as to what he needs to do. Reza is scarily so, but considering the fact that Reza seems to be a consistent element like Maverick, who doesn't get too influenced by events, it's incredibly likely that Maverick and Reza have the same sort of visions of the future that allow them to act exactly as they need to. And maybe in one of them, Reza's like, no, I'm not going to do that, because that's a terrible idea. The more I read this, the more I'm like, the evil ending is just fine. The evil ending is fine. So this is the thing that fucking gets me. This gets you so much text! I like how he says, at least that's what they said, like, he doesn't fully believe it either. Like, what does that say about him? Like, he's an upstanding, straight guy, but he says, at least, in that context. This is a really odd bit of talking. Like, it really feels like Sebastian isn't sure what to say. Like, he's clearly not good at speeches. Which, again, is a good character trait you can use, to have someone sort of stumble. Like, I couldn't give a good speech. I suck at talking to people that are suicidal, but they keep coming to me. And I try my best, and I just feel awkward. And it's great to have it as a character trait. As someone who legitimately wants to try, but he can't actually do it because he doesn't understand how the psychology works. The problem is, Sebastian is just good enough. For someone who's a couple of years into the job, he's got a remarkable amount of nuance to him. Where does this come from, Sebastian? Like, it really feels like Sebastian's disconnected. Despite this whole murder thing apparently being uncommon enough that it's a big deal, and yet Sebastian's like, I'm so hunky-dory. Like, how does he get that kind of rigor? Where's that spine, boy? Not to mention, this is a very statistical analysis of something that's not very statistical. Also, this speech feels very addressed to the player because it ends like this. It really feels like it wants to be that Mr. Saturn moment in Earthbound, where you have the T and the whole game starts addressing you as the player instead of Ness. Best chance. Okay. Like, this is such a clumsy sentence. Like, it feels like it's breaking apart, but there's no descriptor, so who knows what you're thinking at this moment? Who knows? You're just suddenly talking in broken English. But this sounds a bit awkward in Dutch, but it probably adds to the situation, because everyone's already talking very awkwardly. The problem is, we don't have a verb for worrying. Yeah, we don't. I guess Pikarin is probably the best one I could do with Tobin. It depends. What's the context? Like, Pikarin is like you're worrying about tomorrow. You're brooding about what's going to happen next. And Tobin is more like you're like, no, I'm such a sad sack of shit. Buh, 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 buh. I guess this is Pikarin. Again, you're telling Sebastian he has no fucking clue. Like, Sebastian doesn't have any fucking clue what he's talking about, does he? Like, he misses important... Like, he's trying his best, but he just can't do it! Like, I would have... Like, at this point, I was like, please let Reza not be the murderer. Let there be someone else who's doing this shit. Let the... And none of it. It turns into this much more hackneyed plot, which just makes me sad. Like, the thing is, we have nothing that specifically ties Reza to any of this. Sure, a human was at the scene, but what does that even mean? And how could Bryce really know? Has he seen every dragon? Is he from Bastion? Has he walked in a multi... Yeah, like, maybe Reza just showed up at the crime scene after someone else committed the murder. Like, that's the big thing, is there's a lot of space for this to be a much better mystery, but none of it is used. Thanks, Sebastian. Sebastian, from the fine fish bush. Like, honestly, I think that getting the Izumi committed the murder endings first would create a much better context for everything. Please tell me Mordenar with one N. Yay! That saves us trouble. Like, this is such a missed moment. Like, it's such a tropey thing. Like, Reza doesn't get caught until the end. Like, come on. Like, even if just for a short moment you get to talk to him. I guess that would drastically increase the complexity of certain end scenarios. But I really feel that this would have worked better it would have worked better if the time scenario is in there, but it's not the keystone of everything, you know? Like, the fact that it's the entire mechanic, it just kind of forces a lot of complexity and good opportunities to go away. Like, there's a much better story in here, but it doesn't get to come out because of all the mechanics it has to work with. That needs some translation, because I think that's actually changing the context of what he says too much. Also, this song is not as fun when you listen to it this much and you just have to think. It is. Like, the funny thing is, he wants the blueprint that a dean wants, which is the fucking facility. I don't like this at all. Like, it feels flat and hollow the more I look at it. It's like I'm looking into the eyes of a lich, and there's nothing there! Except a vague malice that comes from a good place. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to pull up! Yay! I forgot that it's supposed to be you in the first ones. Actually, nah, that doesn't work. I need to think of a good pun. Also, this is a very far-fetched one, too, because Zhang isn't really a gator, he's still a dragon, and he's still based on dinosaurs. I think I got a cute one. The thing is, do you know Shang's name at the end of this? Because you call him Storkler. I guess the only way to get there to that achievement is to have done it a bunch of times anyway, since you need to have enough in order to get sassy. There we go. That's literally just a see you later alligator joke. Why not? It's a really dumb joke. I also don't think anyone's actually going to get that at that point. They're probably going to get the second one. This was a really bad pun. This is different. You did great on your second. You did well, and you did a good investigation for the second time. Walking a marathon for clues is something else, ain't it? Like, it's a different kind of investigation from the first time, so it's a good one. It's also not a pun, it's just a nice sassy remark. Nice sassy! Mm! Did you even tell them anything if you just fuck off? This sounds a lot more disappointing. Hey, we're almost there. Whee! Yeah, it seems dragons have a lot of stamina if they can just fucking pull this off. Ah, I forgot about the answering machine. Well. Why the fuck did we call the... whatever. What a weird thing to ask. Anyway, don't forget to vote for what date comes next. Oh, thank God he actually didn't do this. It's too bad that actually getting the achievement that gets 2 messages with system kind of screws you over, since one of them will be sad with you. God damn, what the hell? Why does he talk so much? Okay, so this is a whole bunch. Oh wow, that's really complicated. That's really complicated for no reason, and also doesn't seem to do anything. Like this, why is it still here? Just take a crowbar and just wiggle it out. Like this doesn't do anything. When does this one come up? Play message true. Okay, it still does that, but like you don't need any of the other stuff. Any of it. Just shoo, evil dogger, shoo. Yeah. God damn, Bryce talks a lot. That's really hard to translate. I love this one. I like we call it a peep, which is more like squeak instead of a beep. I'm translating it literally because it works a bit better, instead of putting it in proper Dutch. Because it should be, maar ik was het, instead of het was ik. But it captured the original feeling a bit better. Also, the fact that she has a child over there and has to go home on her own, like, it's kind of a weird date. Like, I like how her insecurities peek through, because she's babbling on but has no clue what to say. Or someone's gonna be very... Why doesn't she rehearse this? It really sounds like she doesn't know what she's doing. This is taking way too long, from what I expected at least. What a weird way to put it. What a weird way to put it. Like, this makes her feel abandoned. Like, she's clearly expecting something. The choice is mine. Bow, bow, bow. Interesting. You don't have a comment on that. God damn it. Ah, my arm! Why is there so much of this? And why is it a duplicate? No, really, why would there be a... No, that's not a What? What the heck? Wait, why is there an alt menu? Oh yeah, I remember. I think. Do I? Am I video games? Like, what the hell's going on? Why are there so many menus? Why are there so many menus? Huh. Okay, so these are all, like, available counts, which are used for positive points. What the hell's going on? Try to pick Anna. Yeah, why does this menu show up so many times? CS unplayed. Okay, that scene's played. Equals 1. Then what's the requirement? This is alt label 1. Okay, so what? When does that come up? Okay, I get it. So what it does is it checks to see how many dates you have available, and if there's too many, it pops it open to a next window, which is why there's so many of these. There's one for having enough dates for both sides, and then having too many dates. Okay. That's really weird. The Scepter of Sovereignty. I gave that a fucking name, but who knows what I named it. Oh. What the hell do I name Sovereignty? What a fucking run-on sentence. Goddamn. You could knock someone unconscious with a run-on sentence like that one. Jiggity. Man, that's such a sad realization. The day was already over. I wonder how much emphasis there is in the draconic components of the character. What kind of dragon is she anyway? I should have paid attention. Yeah, I don't think it's specified. When suddenly the doorbell rang. Like, goddamn. What a run-on sentence the next one is. I might fix that in the next revision. I'm done! Yay! Chapter 2 is gone! After some really bad intro stuff. I should probably get ready for bed. It's already 2040. Fuck, it's late! Why did I do this? Was it video games? I don't know.